And we're live, she says. Hey, everybody, how's it going? With me today, in lieu of my two regular co-hosts, is 242 Reads.
Hi again, guys. It's been a while.
Mia is unfortunately down with an illness still, and Filia is having bad weather, so her internet's down. So I had to pull out. I had to bring out 242. And with me is the very talented Big Daddy Stone.
Oh yeah, hi.
He's like, oh yeah, hi, I'm here.
Wait, what? Oh, right.
So, Big Daddy, for people who don't know your channel, why don't you fill the lovely folks in on what you do?
Well, I have a channel on the YouTube, as the kids say, called Big Daddy Stone. And I basically do what most narrators do. I go out there and ask permission for cool stories that I like to read on the internet to you. And I do a little bit of sound design and a little bit of music with them and have a lot of fun with it.
That's awesome. So do you write any of your own stuff, or have you ever dabbled in trying to write?
I dabble. I don't have anything ready to go. I don't have anything that's, airworthy or, pretty and polished and ready to go. But at some point I will. And it will probably be something a little bit more along the lines of a true life, or I'm not sure yet. I've got a few things in the works, and I've been kicking some things around with Romnex.
That's awesome. So what got you started?
The Romnex and the Dark Somnium. You may not know, but they are also narrators on YouTube. And of course, Romnex is my daughter, and the Dark Somnium is her significant other. And when she got her channel up and running and going, I did a few, I think 1 or 2 guest voices on 1 or 2 of her stories. One story that I know for sure, when she came home to visit one year, summer of 20, I think. And then I started, I did a guest voice for Ronnie on the Dark Somnium channel. And then they started their campaign of, you need to get a channel. You need to start a channel. You need to get a channel. Have you thought about a YouTube channel? You should do a YouTube channel. Hey, we should do a YouTube channel. Would you go ahead and record this for me? Hey, record this for me. That sounds good. You should do a YouTube channel.
That kind of sounds like me with people. Like I would be in VC and I would just be reading my stories, and people are like, "Oh, you got a voice for that. You should start a YouTube channel." And then 242 bullied me into it. Actually, she tricked me, and she really bullied me, but she tricked me because she helped me put my first video together. And she's like, "Well, now you can just upload it to YouTube." And I'm like, "But I'm not ready."
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, well, it was kind of an easy transition for me into it, besides the computer programs, the digital audio workstations, and just learning all that from scratch, because it changed so much since I last used a digital audio workstation in 2006, I think, because I used to work in radio. And in the radio station,
cool.
Our editing software was Cool Edit, which eventually became Audacity. Or not Audacity, Audition, I believe. Adobe bought Cool Edit and made them into Audition, I think. And so now I use Audition, and it's basically eerily the same as it was when it was Cool Edit, just with a lot more features that confuse you.
Sounds familiar. He was like,
so
why do I need all this fancy stuff? I just want to record.
I just need cut, paste, clean up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Easy, easy.
Audacity has a lot of stuff like that too, and I'm like, I don't know what all these features do. I know what these handful do, and the rest is like, oh.
Well, I took on Audition just because that's what Ronnie and Romnex use, and I thought, well, if I need technical assistance, I can always hit them up. And
Right.
then I just ended up slogging through it after we got it installed on my computer. And I've asked a few questions about things, but I've never sat down with them and they said push this button for this and click this for that, or here's how you tweak this filter. And I'm still learning constantly. It's a constant learning curve for me, because as I said before, I'm a little bit older and I'm a little harder to teach on the more complicated things on computers outside of checking email. I mean, I'm not an idiot on the computer, but I'm just not. It kind of hurts to learn that kind of thing for me. Physical pain.
I get that 100%.
It's not horrible, and I learn little things with each video. So each video has a tweak, or I'm still changing the sound on almost every video and using different things that I find on. I'm not going for a uniform same sound every time sound, which maybe I should, but I'm still having fun playing with filters and learning what I like the sound of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind of why I got my the software that I do. I got Vegas Pro when they were on the Humble Bundle, because As the Raven Dreams uses that, and he's been one of my primary tech people for whenever I have an issue. I go to him and ask him questions, and he taught me how to use it. And there's so many features on the Vegas Pro that I've never touched. But I'm like you. I learned what I needed to do, and that's what I do.
Yeah. And especially with FL Studio, when I take it after I'm done editing and take it over to FL Studio to do my mixing with the music and any sound design I do. You look at Dark Somnium when he starts composing music, and it's just, it just makes you dizzy looking at his screen. There's so many pieces to what he does. Mine doesn't look anything like that, but sometimes I'll have 100 little pieces on there, and it's just kind of all over the place. And it can be a little bit intimidating still, just because I'm usually biting off a little more than I'm usually operating or trying to achieve a little bit above my skill level, to be honest.
Not always a bad thing. It's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
I've actually been dabbling with voice acting, trying to get like different voices for different characters. Whenever there's like a bunch of characters in one story, that way they stand out if I don't have anyone collabing with me.
Yeah. And my thing is I'm kind of picky when I pick stories, so a lot of times I'll just pick a story. Like, I rarely do anything that's not age appropriate to my voice, because I simply cannot flex my voice up into the high range like I used to be able to. Just can't.
You can't do the 16-year-old girl thing?
No, like, why?
Honestly, man. Honestly,
It's
if I'm doing a story that it has like a female role and I don't have somebody to do it for me, I'll just narrate it in my narrator voice. I won't even try to change it. I'm just like, I'm not gonna try to do something I can't do.
Right.
I tried to, when it's a male voice, I just try to make sure my voice is a little deeper for it, and I'm a female, so there's only so much I can do. So I'm like, if you like, well, it didn't sound like a guy. It's like, well, yeah, because I'm a girl, duh.
Yeah.
So I just want to give it.
Sound like Santa when she read you, Christmas stories when you were a kid, but she still read it and it was great. Suck it up.
Always, exactly. You're gonna say PA?
I was gonna shout Ray out, but he's not gonna give me a strawberry, so he doesn't get a shout out now.
He did give you a strawberry.
I got to go over and look at this live chat.
No, he said it's a strawberry. It's strawberry night. None for PA though.
Oh.
Jelly gave me a strawberry, but seriously, on a less joking note, if you're ever looking for a really good story, you should contact Ray Beeman. He writes fantastic stories. If you've heard the A Night Watchman series on my channel, Big Daddy Stone, that's from Ray.
Yeah. That's when I think I started tapping into you right around that time or right before. Because that's when I started catching some of your premieres.
Yeah, he only gives like the stories to that person.
Mm-hmm.
So
you get some exclusivity. That's nice.
Yeah, So like I would definitely Ray might reach out to you, but if you want to reach out to him, he's on YouTube as Ray. I mean on Twitter as Raymond Beeman. He's a really great author.
Apparently, he can't write Jelly Bean locked up his hands.
That's fine. I'll free you, Ray. You belong to me. You have property of PA Nightmares on the back of your neck. I can do what I want.
That's fun.
And the bucket.
And the bucket.
Apparently, Ray Beerman gave you a watermelon instead of a strawberry because you're amazing. So,
watermelon. But have you I know you haven't been doing this very narrating very long, but do you have a story from a certain author that you really enjoy above all the other stories?
Of the ones I've recorded, or just in creepypasta in general?
Just out of the ones that you've done on your channel so far.
I have a couple that are kind of extra cool to me just because they are. One, I really tried to do more with sound design than I was capable of doing. Sorry, I'll hit that mute button next time I cough.
Oh, you're good, man.
There's a story I did with spirit voices and a quick cameo by Romnex called "The Girl from Blackbird Creek."
I remember that one. It was a good one.
Yeah, it's longer and it kind of has a happy ending, which is rare for my stories. My stories rarely have happy endings.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I've sort of gotten a reputation for killing all my characters off because if I can't find a reason for you to live feasibly, like if you can't find a way out of the situation, then you're not getting out of the situation.
Right.
If he can't figure out a way to get him out of the situation, then he put them in. And I've got the opposite thing. I kill for last resorts. Doesn't mean it's a happy ending. Just means you lived.
Technically, no one died in my last story.
Technically.
I just started a war in my story. That's it. No one has died yet.
So, the girl from Blackbird Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a story. Shoot, there is another one. I was talking about it with Rom recently. I'll have to think about it here for a minute. There was I kind of got to step into a character the whole time. Recently, the Cleaners was really cool, and then the Ravager. I really like that because I got to be a super, super bad guy, and I like that a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got to bring the crazy out basically, and.
Yeah, well, it's low-key crazy. It's the kind of crazy that blends in public, and you don't double check and say, "Watch out for that guy." You know, it's the kind of dangerous that's. You know, a lot of my stories, like I love cryptids and creatures and what's that sound in the cave and I heard a noise in the wood stories, and I read those and I love them. But
yeah.
The ones that are more realistic, scary to me are the people monster stories.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people that are monsters, and, you know, it's more real to me. And I like that. I like real.
I personally I love those stories, but for my writing style, I purposely stay away from them because I use writing as escapism, and I don't want to bring like too much reality into my stories. Yeah. That makes sense. Like I use them to get away from the real world and all the real monsters out there.
Yeah,
I like to delve into my mythology some.
Crawling Boy was cool. I really I enjoyed the Crawling Boy a lot because I worked with on some of my stories. I will, instead of using sound effects, I'll use music to set the tone for each kind of chapter in the story, and or a movement for each piece, sort of. And in the Crawling Boy, I did that. I used 4 or 5 different musical pieces to score it instead of to kind of replace sound effects instead of using it with sound effects. But you know, I'm kind of I could just whip out narrations, and I just can't bring myself to do it. You know, I could just do straight reads and do them nice and clean and put them out there. But when I sit down to do a story, I want to do something a little extra with it, usually. And sometimes I just read it and go, here, take it.
This is what you get.
Yeah, this is what I feel today.
Seraphine asked what your favorite cryptid is.
My favorite cryptid. I don't know. I've never put a lot of thought into it. I always enjoy them when I hear them, and there's so many now.
Yes, there is.
You know, I mean, the cryptid universe has grown exponentially over the, internet years. Before that, you had what? Bigfoot, werewolves. You know, you had the basic fare for like hundreds of years, and now there's so many cryptids that it's hard to tell. But I suppose I tend to gravitate toward some of the old-fashioned, the oldie but goodies, werewolves, things like that. Things that are half man, half creature. That kind of experimental creatures. I guess the things from the void, like in the Guarded Secret Prison stories, those wouldn't be considered cryptids.
So, I know my favorite cryptid, minus the originals, was the Rake, and it's kind of for that same purpose. Because the Rake seems to have like that human-like intelligence, and it has that humanoid appearance, but at the same time, it's enough monster to freak you the hell out.
Yeah, I actually got to do the Rake on Ronnie's channel. That was really cool.
So, why Big Daddy Stone for the name of your channel?
Well, I think it was partially a joke at first, just to kind of screw with Romnex. And I'm a bigger guy, and I'm a daddy, and my name's been Stone forever, so it kind of worked. Big Daddy Stone.
Nice.
And I was kind of in a Pimp Daddy Kane mood that night when I was naming myself. So.
Love it. And in that spirit, Ray Beeman has a question. If you had to pick a creepypasta to read, either by Nicolas Cage doing his Nicolas Cage face or Jeff Goldblum, but all the dialogue contains stammering, which would you choose?
Oh, yes. Probably Jeff Goldblum. Although that's a really difficult question to answer because I appreciate both of them and both of their weirdnesses. Weirdness? Weird eye?
Yeah. Also, welcome to the Dark Somnium, who has just entered the chat with a question for B Money. Where would you like your channel to be, and where would you like to take your narrations in 5 years?
To the bank. I'm just kidding.
To the bank.
B Money. B Money.
Right. B Money.
B Money.
B Money.
Apparently, that's now your pimp name. And Big Daddy's known as B Money.
Big pimpin'. I check cheddar like a food inspector.
Also, before you answer that one, HR says, "Do you like it when people call you Big Papa?"
And put my hands in the air like I'm a true player. Yes, I do.
Sorry, it just fit with the current conversation too well.
I know the 10 crack commandments. I know all that stuff. I'm very, very informed. I'm an informed man. No Big Papa fans out there. Come on.
No. I got you, bro. I got you.
Okay. Yeah. What was the question?
Where would you like your channel to? Where would you like your channel to be? Or where would you like to take your narrations in 5 years?
Oh, I don't know if I'll be dead in 5 years. 5 years. I mean, I would like to have continued growth. I'd like to think that I would upload more often than I do now, which is roughly once a week. I need to upload more, and I want to upload more. But I have trouble enjoying my freedom. And when I stare at a computer screen too long, I tend to go cross-eyed and hate myself. I like to get out in the fresh air and see trees moving and hear animals. And that's part of the problem. I get itchy if I stay on the computer too long and I have to walk away. But where I'd like to be in 5 years, I'd like to have a successful channel that people enjoy and that I could still reach out and, make friends and help the
And
community.
call you B Money.
Yeah.
And call me B Money. Well, by then I'll be the artist formerly known as B Money.
Yes.
I'm gonna get big and blow up.
He'll go from B Money to Big Papa.
Yeah.
Because he'll be spending that big money.
Big Papa.
So, speaking of, how you said you like to get out in nature, have you ever considered, I don't know, like getting like a GoPro, taking some like videos of nature as you're walking, and kind of putting that in the background of your videos? Kind of like combining hobbies.
At some point, I'm going to get a GoPro, and I'm going to start making some videos and using those. I like using Visualizer, but I'm going to mix it up. I mean, I've just got no set formula for what I do. I'm not trying to make it the same product every time, which I should if you go by the branding, branding in the business world. But honestly, I'm not looking at it. This is still my hobby. If it grew to a point where it was like, okay, enough people are paying attention, I would probably polish it a little more and make it a little more branded. But I'm just kind of enjoying my hobby right now. But in 5 years, yeah, I'd love to be hooked up with some authors that are giving me some exclusivity on some voice appropriate parts that are maybe custom written, and I'd like to still be doing this. Yeah. I kind of like it. I didn't know what it was going to be when I first started it. I was just going to do it until I got sick of it, and then I just didn't get sick of it.
That sounds familiar.
I was just
it
playing
happens.
with kids, So
Ray Beeman wants to know if you'll say life finds a way.
Yes. Yes. Life. Yes. It's finds a way. No, I can't. I'm not. I need my monitors in. I think I'm reaching there too far, and I go a little bit too gravelly with my voice.
Oh my God! Oh well, you just got Big Daddy. If it grew to a point where people were paying attention, I would probably polish it a bit more. Big Daddy's turned 2022. Razor General, Ray likes to take things out of context.
And quotable quotes. Yeah, if it grows any bigger, I'll pay attention to it.
One other thing I wanted to read was Romnex has informed you that you will not be dead in 5 years, and I don't think you have a choice in that matter.
No.
But
she's so sweet.
But earlier
I was
when you were
going to
talking
say
about
though, your daughter probably would think that she doesn't want you dead in 5 years. No.
That's nice. I appreciate her.
Yeah, we all want you to stay around for at least another 15 to 20 years.
15
to life.
I don't know how old you are, so I'm just saying, like on YouTube game, you can live past the 20-year mark, but at least stay on YouTube and doing us narrations for like another 20 years,
I'm over 40. I'll give you that.
But you earlier when you were talking about you weren't sure if people knew who Romnex and Dark Somnium were. I've been subscribed to both Romnex and Dark Somnium for a long time. Dark Somnium was definitely one of the people who I was introduced to, introduced me to creepypastas, and then I went down this rabbit hole of finding new narrators, and eventually I came to Romnex and Spirit Voices, which are now Spirit Voices and Romnex are two of my favorite narrators to listen to whenever they put out new stuff. And of course, I still
Raven
listen to I binge listen to Ronnie, Raven, 42. There's a lot of people that I are my go-to because my job allows me a lot of time to actually catch up on videos.
Those days.
I used to listen a lot before I did my channel.
Oh my God, right?
Me too.
I just don't have as much time anymore, or I don't take as much time. I think maybe because I do some sound design and I don't want to sound derivative, I just kind of stay away from certain things and certain places where I know that I might be influenced to either just not do a story because somebody already did it, or because I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of I kind of made my circle a lot tighter since.
So
And I used to listen to like 50 different people.
yeah. So here's the thing. I try to do stories that not a lot of people are doing. Obviously, most of my stories have been done by other people, but I try to find stories that aren't in the regular, like just like in the general, just like everybody's doing them. But
Right.
I don't mind doing a story that someone else has done as long as it's not been overdone.
Yeah.
Because I used to be like I wanted it to be on my channel only, but then I quickly realized how almost impossible that was.
Oh, yeah, that's super unrealistic unless you write it yourself or have a friend that's writing for you.
50% of my material's mine.
There goes Ray Beeman again. Look at that guy.
What did he do this time?
He quoted me again. Quotable quotes from Big Daddy Stone. I made my circle a lot tighter. Big Daddy Stone 2022.
Hey, at least I'm not even going to bring it up. He hasn't brought it up yet.
Yeah.
Keep my mouth shut.
He's a punny guy. He
is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is just how Ray is. He will find every quote and use it.
Yeah.
Against you.
It's pretty funny.
I had one used against me this morning. I can't remember what it was.
Freaking Ray. So
no, it wasn't Ray.
Oh, Jelly Bean?
No, neither one of them were in my live stream today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Both have failed 42. But so Big Daddy Stone, speaking of the editing process, even throw the narration process in there. What's your favorite part of making the video? What's your least favorite part of making the video?
Well, because of the way I do it, it kind of, when I get a story and I sit down to read it, I really don't know how it's going to sound. Occasionally I'll pick out a couple of music tracks, or something in the story will prompt me that I'll think, hey, this will sound good, or that'll sound good.
Yeah.
So that takes me in different directions with it. But if it prompts me into doing sound design, I really do enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing the sound design, not the editing so much, but sound design and mixing. I'd like to say I enjoy it, but I'm kind of sucky at it. So I'm working on it. Mixing is really tough, getting your levels right. Even with good headphones and a good ear, it's just and something happens when it goes through the process of getting rendered and mixed down and then uploading. Sometimes it just doesn't sound the way it did when it did through your headphones or your speakers at home. It's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
So the part that I like that's my favorite, which is actually probably sound design, I'm actually very weak at, but practice makes better. Hopefully perfect one day, but much better.
Well, and also it depends. Sound is different between a speaker, a TV, and your headphones too. So there's so much to take into consideration. So it's just like, really, a lot of people are either listening to it on their phones or on their headsets. Those are normally your two biggest ones.
Yeah.
That's the way I have my microphone set up. Is my headphones are plugged into my microphone, so whenever I'm doing it, I generally have a pretty accurate idea of what it's going to sound like. And if it hurts my ears when I'm doing it, like when I play it, I'm going to just assume it's going to hurt everybody else's ears, so I turn it down.
It's good thinking, man. Good thinking. I just wrestle. I wrestle with the levels so bad sometimes, but I just plugging away at it, figuring if I do it long enough, I'll get better at it. So
you read every story that you catches your eye, like throughout the whole story, huh?
Oh yeah.
I just choose stories willy nilly and hope good.
Yeah, I hope for the best and hope it doesn't suck by the time you get to the end. And boy, that sucked.
I'm just too lazy to read.
Well, I do the same thing as him, but I read the beginning and I read the end. I've only had one story I couldn't read doing it that way.
And all fairness. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I was just like, I read it was like, really cool concept, very badly written. I'm not doing it, never talking about it. We're not talking about this one.
So, in all fairness, whenever I do that, like most of the authors that I I just don't bother reading their stories until I narrate them. Have been authors I've worked with several different times, and they've never had stories. So I'm just like, I trust you. If I'm working with a new author that I have never heard any of their stories from, I don't know who they are, I will read the story just to make sure.
Yeah, I generally, just because, I mean, if I was recording more often, I would probably not do that as often. If I was really cranking them out on a schedule of some sort and really putting my shoulder behind the channel. But I don't think I'd be playing as much with the sound and doing the things that I want to get good at with it and get faster at with it. I mean, if I pop out a 10 or 15 minute story, I mean, honestly, to clean up the sound, lay down some music, trim it, fade it in, fade it out, throw a visualizer on it, it doesn't take that long.
No, it doesn't.
But, you know, I can spend 6 or 8 hours after reading doing mixing, and, you know, if I want to make the visualizer look really cool, that takes a while, and with the rendering process, and there's just so much to it. But the things that I like to do, it just makes the computer hurt to do it, so it makes it more time intensive.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know if you've listened to it on my channel yet or not, but there's a story that I did for Christmas. A Night to Remember.
You were cranking them out back then, and I listened to a bunch of your stuff, but leading up to Christmas, weren't you putting them out at a pretty good clip?
I was putting them out. Actually, I was putting them out at my normal pace, pretty much. Except I put an extra one out on Christmas, and it's called A Night to Remember. It's a 35-minute video, and the sound design. It took me 11 hours to get that video done, and the majority of that was the sound design.
Yeah, that hurts.
It was just so I feel you on how long sound design takes, man.
If you want to hear something awful, and I know you do, go to my channel and go way down to the first story that I tried to do real sound design on. I mean, it was a train wreck. Excuse me. I mean, it was just, I mean, I used so much sound design. It's The Lonely Graveyard. It's a space story about launching into space with a space crew. And I mean, I went in hard on that story, and it hurt, and it was brutal and painful, and took like 20 hours, and it sounds like teetotal. Can I cuss on here? It sounds bad. It sounds bad, man.
Yes, you are far enough in that you can swear.
But yet it has like so many views, and I don't understand it.
Because everyone enjoyed it. Excuse me. So there was a question I saw Mia ping me in the chat here. It says, and it's from Dexter. What video made your channel take off if you've had a big growth moment?
Well, I'm looking here at my channel, and I mean, the things that gave me more of a bump than anything was doing collaborations across the board.
Yeah.
Especially with, you know, larger channels like I do. So that's what really gives me a bump each time. Going back looking at the one that gave me the biggest bumps though, probably one of my longer stories was my first real bump. It was called They Say It Takes 2 Days Before Your Cats Will Eat Your Body, or will eat you.
Oh yeah.
And that's a 10-minute story that where obviously the cats, well, you'll see. That one I got a pretty good bump off of. I don't know if it was because of the thumbnail or not.
Thumbnail, I'm looking at it now. Thumbnail's pretty cool.
Thumbnails help. And then the next one that I got a really good bump off of, and it's almost just a straight read, was this story I did called The Hole, which was the name of this house outside of town where bad things happened. The Hole.
Yeah.
Those are the two stories that come up, and those two aren't even near my favorite stories. So, but for some reason they got traction, and I got big bumps in viewership after those two. the one most recently that I saw a lot of growth off of as far as subscriptions would probably be The Crawling Boy.
I'm gonna have to give your channel a binge listen because there's quite a few that I haven't gotten to listen to.
I think I have like 56 videos up now. I've done.
Yep.
My very first 4 videos were a series that I tackled, which was another dumb decision to tackle a series on your first narrations. I should have done a standalone.
I love series though.
I do too, but I dodge them like the plague because I have trouble committing. So I just do standalones for the most part. But I'll have a few.
What I do for series is I usually do 1 or 2 parts at the beginning, like on a Monday, and then my next Monday video is the continuation of that series. That way, I don't get distracted, and it's not too long of a time before the 4 parts. That way, the people don't forget what happened in the last part.
Yeah.
Or you can do what I do, which is like every other month I upload it.
Unless the series isn't done, Ray.
Yeah, I don't think I could skip away from it. I would have to do it all. Well, if I do a series, I would do what I did with this one, which is I recorded it all at once, and then went back and released each because my voice just changes drastically from day to day, from evening to morning to late night, and at least to me it does. And it's just I want some sort of uniformity. I want to sound like the same person when I'm reading on a story, which is tough for me because my voice doesn't flex like it used to.
Yeah, I find that if I record at the same time of night every night, my voice generally sounds almost identical.
Yeah. If you record in the evenings, right now I usually record on Saturdays and Sundays. Occasionally I'll pick a week evening where I'll get the itch, which has been happening more lately just because I haven't been uploading, but once a week. My October of 20. So I've been doing it since October last year. So a little over a year and 3 months now. 56 videos. So I'm averaging less than 1 a week really, but there's been a few times where I skipped 3 weeks and then I would upload 2 or 3 in a week.
Yeah.
When I went on vacation, I went to Alaska for 10 days and I was not going to sweat recording. So I just said, see you. And got up there. We put it out of my mind and then I got home and I binge recorded for a while.
I bet that was beautiful going to Alaska.
That was awesome.
That's one of the places I want to visit. Actually, me and my girlfriend, we've talked, and whenever if we actually do end up tying the knot, we're going to Alaska for a honeymoon.
This is if stuff, man. Of course you're going to.
Me and relationships haven't had the best track record, so.
Poppycock. You're so loaded for bear. You're ready to go.
But Alaska has always been one of the places I want to go because I don't know if you're I know you're a big nature person, so I assume you're a big animal person. But I've always wanted to go see orcas in their natural habitat and go whale watching in Alaska.
Yeah, we it was August, end of August, 1st of September we were up there. So it was still kind of warm, but the sun was coming up at like 5:30 in the morning and going down at 10:30, 11 at night, and it was just, be 60 during the day would be warm, and then we get down to 35, 40 at night, and it was beautiful. Saw moose, saw caribou.
It still sounds warm. 40
gigantic
degrees.
Porcupine, all sorts of animals, glaciers. It was gorgeous. I highly recommend going.
He's just explaining Canada here.
Yeah.
So
I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian. Born, raised.
What's that, a boot? He got you with it. She hates that, by the way. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love tormenting her with it.
Tell me about it, eh?
A boot a day. Yep. But I don't know if you know much about orcas, but here's a fun fact for you. Orcas are literally the bullies of the ocean.
Oh yeah,
because
I just saw they're ripping out great white sharks' livers recently.
well, that and if there's a seal that they have been known to just literally bitch slap seals 80 feet in the air, just to fuck with them, just cause. I'm like, orcas are the assholes of the ocean. That's why I've always resonated with them.
Oh wow. Well, good for you, man. You couldn't have
Actually
picked a bear or a bunny or
No, I watched Free Willy as a kid, and I literally just fell in love with that movie.
Free Willy. Yeah, I remember Free Willy.
But I do gotta say, orcas are the only animal in the ocean that's carnivorous that has never attacked a human in the wild. They're getting a bit more aggressive as we get a bit more aggressive, but mostly orcas just see us and go, "Ha, they're not a threat," and then just leave us alone.
I agree with you on that, man.
Oh no, it's actually been documented.
Missing people. I mean, a great white shark. I mean, they're no rocket surgeons. They're not super smart, so they just take a bite and they leave evidence behind. Orca, they're going to just eat everything and dive deep and be 1,000 miles away tomorrow. I mean, they're shady.
But let's be real. Orcas are also like to play with their food, and I'm pretty sure that there would have been some document of orcas playing with human beings as food.
Yeah.
Although they, like I said, they are getting a bit more aggressive. There have been many accounts of orcas attacking like oil boats and stuff like that now.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking orcas are probably getting sick of us by now.
Are you ready for the uprising? Are you going to try to join them, or?
Oh, I'm on the orcas side, hands down.
Do they know that?
Oh yeah, they'll know that. I'll just start throwing humans in the air like that, like they're like the fish, so they can just catch and eat them.
I'll just stay on land. They can't live on land yet. I'll be good for at least my lifetime. I'll be good for my lifetime.
Oh, that's funny. We lost PA to the orcas.
I've always sided with animals over humans.
I to be honest, generally speaking, I get more warm and fuzzy feelings on the daily than I do in traffic with other humans, but I'm trying real hard.
I mean, have you looked at a human? They're not exactly the most attractive thing. You look at a dog and they're adorable and cute and you just want to pet them.
You look at a dog and you're like, oh, it's so cute. I want to pet it and kiss it. You see a human, you're like, I want to punch you in the face.
Get out of my
wash
way.
yourself?
The light's green. Go.
Why the hell are we still sitting here?
Humans,
exactly.
Ugly sacks of mostly water.
That's a nice voice.
What Mia said.
That
was me.
That was Mia. That was Mia trying to talk.
Oh, okay.
That's as much of a voice.
And PA, you need to ask your question now that you brought all that up.
Oh yes, the lovely question, the age-old question: how would humanity fare if alligators and crocodiles evolved and then now they can fly?
Fly as of when? Like a sudden development or over time?
They've evolved over time, and now they are effective hunting machines in both on water, land, and air.
That's a tough one, man. I think we'd be pretty screwed. I think we would have evolved very differently, and I think Florida would look different. Very
Not wrong.
Poor Florida. Literally, it would be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I can't live somewhere where I can't just take off my boots and pull up my pants leg and wade into the creek without getting eaten. No, thank you. I love to visit, though. Without seeing a prehistoric creature wandering across the golf course. No.
Without trying to go swimming in your pool, and you gotta get in, and you just see this prehistoric creature just swimming in your pool. You're like, nope.
Yeah.
To be fair, the pools are all closed in, so that can't happen.
Yeah.
It still finds a way to happen, though.
Florida is awesome to visit, but I need to be able to know that I can go in the water and be the baddest thing in there besides like a catfish or a carp.
I like to think of Florida how I think of my nieces. It's cute to visit, but whenever it starts to get fussy, you can just give it back.
Well, some of the
My-
news coming out of Florida is fairly disturbing too.
It's
Like,
Florida.
the news out of Florida is really. It started with the face-eating bath salts people years back, and it
Oh,
just
God.
got off the gas since.
Okay, so my husband's actually from Florida. I rescued him. He's a rescue.
He's a rescue.
He's a rescue.
That's funny.
Yeah, so he said that one time he was the Florida man.
Right.
I can't remember the story anymore, but yeah, no, he didn't go to a good school. He went to a school that had barbed fences around it to protect the
Right.
people around them. It was pretty bad.
Wow.
And here I live in Canada, where I could literally walk across the field, go grab McDonald's, and no one ever bat an eye.
Right.
Ray's question's breaking my brain, so I must now break all of your brains.
Oh,
If you
God.
could not choose one thing to do, even if you were tired, what choice would you not make to ensure that you did, and why?
Oh.
If you could not choose one thing to do, so I'm not choosing, so nothing.
I read that question 3 times before I read it to you, and my brain was just like, I don't know what I just read.
If you choose not one thing to do, even that's hard. That hurts.
Right.
The pain starts right here behind my eye. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ray. I guess the answer is C, Cleveland. Next question.
If I could not choose one thing, to do, even if I wasn't tired, it would be to wake up. I would not wake up ever.
Move to Florida.
You could
I would
not-
never choose to move to Florida. There you go.
You did, and why? Yeah, I don't even have a way to make fun of that except C, Cleveland.
C, Cleveland.
Ray,
He
me,
says-
man.
he-
Correct.
Correct, smashed it.
Barb
Thanks,
fences
Ray.
schools are normal in America. Escaping the campus is your final exam.
Keeping the campus.
That's easy. You just kill everyone in the school, and then you just dig a hole under the ground and you leave.
Wow.
Why don't you just go out the front gate? You killed
It
everyone.
got so dark, so quick, PA.
Isn't it?
That is when you live in darkness for 90% of your life, you tend to just immediately find the darkest answer.
Where do you live?
In the underworld. That's where that's what PA Nightmares is. I live in the underworld, and I'm constantly just dealing with dead and recently departed souls. But yeah, I'm literally telling stories to recently departed souls. Some of them are assholes, man.
Right. Well, not everyone was sweet that came along. I mean,
Yeah, those are the ones that I apply the shock collar to.
we're human. We're human.
Mostly.
Shock collar.
Exactly. Put a shock collar around their neck, and every time they go to swear at you, they get about 10,000 volts of electricity. They're already dead, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, you got quoted. You did a quotable quote. You did a quotable quote.
It's easy. You kill everyone in the school. PA Nightmares 2022. Clearly, he's moved on from the shelter.
God damn it.
Oh, wow.
He brought up the shelter. So, in one of our prior streams, I said I wouldn't donate to a woman's shelter because I couldn't trust the people that running it wouldn't just pocket the money. But I would donate to the people in the shelter. I would physically donate to the women in the shelter. I would not donate to the shelter because I couldn't trust anyone.
Right.
That like the higher ups. And so Ray just ran with that.
Ugh. Yeah. That was. You dug a hole with a shovel quick. That's good.
He
It's
really
Ray.
did.
Man, you can't trust Ray.
No, you can't trust him further than you can throw him, and he's literally across the pond, so, it's really hard to get to him.
Cross
He's-
the pond.
He's English. He doesn't understand anything. It's
Oh,
fine.
it's English. Oh, okay.
He's bloody English.
Bloody English.
Bloody hell.
I can't trust women's shelters. PA Nightmares 2022.
Exactly. I can't trust the woman's shelter. You don't know if they're sturdy or not. They might collapse.
Oh, Lord. C, Cleveland. Next question.
Exactly. See, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Next question. I'm gonna take that. Anytime Ray just asks us a really bad question. See, Cleveland.
Apparently, Ray has an extensive spreadsheet.
Oh my god. If you do, I want to see the spreadsheet because it will just make me laugh.
Wow. He's a note taker.
That sounds like a threat.
I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna give you some blood pudding there, Ray.
Ugh.
They might collapse.
That's a quotable quote right there.
That is. Oh my god. So I said this earlier. Welcome to the chaos.
Yeah.
I should have warned you ahead of time. My interviews are very formal because there's nothing formal about me.
Oh,
But I've been trying to actually hold a regular interview with you.
I picked that up in passing, believe it or not.
He's seen your channel.
I'm super astute at picking up like subtle hints, like, "Hey, PA's not PC," you know, or possibly, maybe, sort of not PC.
There's nothing PC about me. I have a very dark sense of humor.
Good for you, man.
There was a joke that someone made, and I like almost peed myself laughing. And I like if anybody anybody who's very PC would have heard this person make that joke, that person would have been canceled quick. And I probably would have been canceled for laughing at it.
Do you pee when you laugh sometimes, PA?
Oh, only if I can't stop. I'm waiting for him to turn that into a quote.
I think you already answered this question. What type of horror story do you enjoy the most? And I think you said the ones that are more grounded in reality.
Yeah, so far. Hold on, I'm fanning from that burp. PA blew through the mic at me.
Sorry, I hit F5 on my keyboard, which is supposed
flying over now. What is that sound?
No, that was a motorcycle.
Okay.
So you don't know, but this is why recording for me is difficult. My room, like the window that's right in front that my microphone sits by, is literally, if I go outside, 5 steps from the road, and I live off a busy road, so there's tractor and trailers, motorcycles, and everything just going by constantly.
Yeah, he lives in the middle of nowhere.
The only time I can record with relative silence is between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m. So whenever I tell people they're lucky, I get that they get 2 videos a week out of me. They're fucking lucky they get 2 videos a week out of me.
Wow. Yeah, I have a similar problem. I mean, well, not quite as bad as yours, but sometimes I'll get some bleed through when I'm trying to record. And I have a new microphone. I just picked it up. The last 2 stories I did are off of it. So I have a little bit different sound going on. But this microphone's pretty sensitive. I got a new MXL, and it's not directional. So I had to play with it and set it up. And I'm actually in the middle of soundproofing my studio.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So I'm pretty excited to get it all together and get it up and make it sound a little cleaner and higher quality.
I mean, you don't have a blanket around a corner where you record?
Not usually, no.
I've
thrown a thick blanket over my head many times. Rom next shared tricks of the trade when I got into the biz, as they say.
I actually have a moving blanket that is.
Nope, we got another quotable quote. Hold on, I'm sorry. I want to hear about your moving blanket. I need to hear about your moving blanket. But we have another quotable quote that came up. If PA wants to read that, I'm not taking over the interview. I swear. Go ahead, PA.
I have a similar problem, not quite as bad as yours. Big Daddy Stone, 2022.
Thanks, man. Good read. So Mia, your quilt, it's enthralling. I need to know more. Tell me about it.
You mean 42?
242. I apologize. 242. Yeah.
It's all
I was
good.
looking for the thing.
Yeah, so we have this moving blanket, and I'm in literally in a corner for where my my computer is. So I have it all around, with nails up.
Yeah.
It works though.
It works. That's the thing, though. It works, and you don't have to spend a ton of money. You don't have to get the greatest microphone. Well, microphone helps a little bit if you don't get the cheapest microphone ever, but you don't have to spend more than $100 on a microphone. You can spend a lot less. You can shop for deals, and you can just do some common sense soundproofing. to get the sound that you need. I mean, I've heard on the Nevermore Collective, some of the interviews that you guys have done on both shows, that people are talking about you don't need to spend a ton of money to get into this, and you really don't.
Oh.
You can be creative, you can go online, people are willing to share what they're doing, what programs they're using. If you don't have the budget to get something fancy, you don't need to, and you can still be productive and actually profitable. A lot of the folks can. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good free programs too.
Oh yeah. When I started, I used Audacity, I think, and it did really well for me. It was easy to pick up if you just play with it. But that's the key, though. Instead of asking people what to do, you just got to kind of do it and dig into it and watch tutorials on YouTube. And
there's a ton.
I have a Blue Yeti because that's what I have.
Yeti's cool. There's no problem with that.
Yeah, I do too. But I have a blue Yeti.
But so I just got back, but my TV right now is on Netflix and it's currently cycling through like titles of shows, and I saw Gotham and it says, and I just looked at it and I said Got Ham. I wonder if the author of the person who created Gotham City was just a really big fan of ham, and he was just asking everybody if they got ham.
Got ham? It's easy to pick up if you just play with it. Big Daddy Stone 2022.
You gotta read it like this. It's easy to pick up. You just play with it. Mm-hmm. Big Daddy Stone 2022.
Yeah.
Also,
what you kill Jesse for?
I want me some French fry tenders.
All right.
I do that voice a little too well, and it just cracks people up.
Yeah, you do special good. Very naturally.
You have very special voices, PA.
That's
I
high
do.
praise.
That's gonna become a quote. I guarantee it.
You're right.
You do special well.
They're calling me special. I'm very
I said special voices well.
I see you do special all the time. You're really
all the time. That's why I bullied you into narrating.
Yeah, you fucking bully.
Yeah, it's been a year now. How you holding up? PA is a special boy.
YouTube keeps jacking my subs. That's how I'm up.
How do they jack your subs?
Dude,
Wait, they jack you. I heard you right, correct? Let me.
Yeah. They literally. So in like a day, I gained 5 subscribers, and I never moved from 576. So every time I gained a subscriber, YouTube just took one away.
Like, here's a subscriber, take. Here's a subscriber, take. Here's a subscriber, take.
I haven't gotten any of those little programs or apps that tells you what you gain and what you lose, and I honestly, I don't sweat it too much because I always have like constant little, like my average growth is about 60 subscribers per month, and I'll see it like go down 1 or 2 here or there, but I just don't sweat it that much.
Normally I don't. It doesn't bother me, but man, it was 5 subscribers, and it just took like 5 away. I'm like, come on now, that's not even fair.
Yeah, life's hard, man.
Like
Life's
1 or
hard.
2, okay, fine, I'll accept it. You do that to me all the time, but 5?
I know, and you're fighting for everyone when you start. When you're like we are. We're new guys, we're noobs, sort of noobs. We're still noobs, right? How long are you a noob in YouTube?
I think you're just a noob until you break 1K. I feel like that's just what it is.
No, there's still people who are at 1K that I consider noobs.
I feel like it's more than
10.
10K.
I'm gonna say 10K.
10K. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you at 10K, and I'll have all sorts of sage advice to give to you.
Which means I just made Raven still a noob.
Right.
Yeah.
Not by much, because he's at 7.29K. Swear to God, every time I look at Raven, he has like 2,000 more subscribers.
I don't know, that boy is growing so well. It's great.
That's awesome.
I need to break the algorithm like he did. One of these days.
One of these days, man.
And Mia said that is because you're over 1K, so I think you have more growth. Yeah, I know that once you get over 1K and get monetized, YouTube starts pushing your channel more. And it feels like that 1K climb can take forever, because I've been doing this. I made Raven Noob 42 to God damn it.
Oh, crap. Sorry. I forgot whenever I was bitching at my computer setup that I unplugged my computer, and my computer's like, I'm about to die. And I'm like, oh, shit.
That boy is growing well. 42 reads, 2022. God damn.
I got to 1,000 in under a year, but it took my watch time. My 4,000 hours is what took me the full year.
Yeah.
It was like close to literally a year, right? A few days before a year that I got the monetization from hitting 4,000 hours, and then I saw a bump from that.
Man.
Dark Somnia. It's definitely good to remember the numbers don't mean much, not as much as having good time doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I have to agree completely with that. And I mean, I look at the numbers somewhat, but honestly, I think the channel would have to grow a little more before I take them seriously, because I do have a career that I give most of my attention to.
Yeah.
And that's what pays the bills. Now, if I was young and hungry artist, really wanting to, if I was cranking out videos every 2 days, or if I was a big channel and knew that, I was just feeding the machine, then it would be a little bit different story. I would monitor the channel and watch the numbers in a very different way, because that would be my business and my living.
Yes.
I'm not, and it's my hobby. And until it is, I'm just going to let it grow kind of organically. And sometimes I'll push it harder than others, and I just don't sweat it. Till I'm unemployed, then I'm going to be scared of uploading every single day.
You know what? Me and my husband sat down and talked, and I'm like, I could not do a video every single day, not a proper one. I put too much work into all my stuff. So you do it with all the sound work. I actually make sure that every story gets its own picture, and I make those pictures myself.
Right.
Not draw them, but I Photoshop them together and stuff like that. So, and I also put the words on the screen, because my husband's actually very hard of hearing, and I'm like, he can't be the only one. So, and I also sometimes use the words to help tell the story too. I'll do stuff with that. So.
Wow.
I pulled away. I was thinking about the sound work and all that stuff, but it wasn't like, as someone who was listening, I found that sometimes when I was listening, it actually took me out of the story, because either it was too loud, or I was in the middle of something and it scared the bejesus out of me, and I was just like, well, that's not really my cup of tea. So I was like, well, I'll go more focusing towards this aspect then. And I enjoy the photo editing. I enjoy goof to it.
Yeah, you put your own personal little fingerprint on it. It makes it yours. It's kind of cool.
I think. Oh, okay, there it is. The stream went down for like the splittest of seconds there.
The splittest of seconds.
Yeah, it only had to it was doing circles like twice, and then it was good again.
Oh, okay, cool. So we're live.
YouTube's
we're back on the
like,
interweb.
YouTube's just like, I don't care anymore.
YouTube. I have a hiccup. One sec. YouTube.
I think Furberries says goodbye. Good night, Furberries.
Take care, Furberries.
Later, brother.
Stay out of trouble. Hello, Lone Wolf.
Hey, Lone Wolf. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Wolf? Hey, AK, 42. You see what I just did there, right? An AK-47. My brain just turned into AK-42. Did you know Furberries lives in Canada?
Yes, he lives in Saskatchewan. It's actually the province right next to me. Yeah, I think he actually says he lives in Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, yeah. Jeez, why do you know that?
I just got done binge watching Corner Gas a few months ago.
Yeah, that'll be fair.
I'd never heard of it.
Awesome. Oh, it's awesome. I love Corner Gas.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was pretty funny. I liked it.
So in Canada, we have this place called Tim Hortons, and they made Bieber Timbits, because they're donut holes, but they call them Timbits here. They did one with Bieber, and I think it's like called Bieber or something. And the actor who created Quarter Gas, his last name is Butt.
Yeah.
So
Brett
he's like,
Blatt.
yeah.
Brett
So he wanted to do a collab with Tim Hortons and make buttholes.
That's funny.
Sorry, there was a little bit of lead up to put that all together, but it was worth it.
You were saying beaver, and I was like, are they gonna try to have like something called a beaver butt?
I don't think they're called beaver holes. I think they're called. I forget what they called them. I was not paying attention because I just didn't care.
Oh, Romnex is leaving. Bye, Romnex. It's good
Bye,
to meet
Rom.
you.
It was
You're
good.
you're very famous, and I've heard of you, and I appreciate you. Dark Somnium. I think Dark Somnium had a stroke. It's I don't think he made it. If you read his comment, am I missing something there? And all is the online still for? Yeah, that's gibberish. He's
Or for can do. I haven't seen or work, and it's Justin or what button and like. Moreover, be for more now. You might have to get some clarification from him.
Yeah, that's a stroke. That's you need to call 911 immediately, Ronnie. I'm worried about you, buddy.
Take care, Romnex. Take care, Dark Somnium. Thank you for coming.
Later, Rom. Later, Dark. Guess I'm going.
Dark Horse
Bye.
Tales.
What up,
Somnium
horse?
people left. I'm all alone. My
You're not
support
alone.
system is alone.
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You got this. You got this.
I feel like PA is going to sing "You Were Not Alone" by Michael Jackson to me now.
I would.
But
Except
you
I
don't
don't know
know the
Michael.
words.
I don't know any Michael Jackson songs other than Thriller.
Here's a quote for him. You can just hum it a little.
You just hum it a little.
You are not alone. Can't go high anymore. I used to be able to nail that back in the 90s. There's another quote for him. Now he's got me tuned into myself.
Ray, what have you started?
Yeah.
You're a monster.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can still call him Ray, the Rain Man B-Man. He loves that. He'll never get away from it.
The Rain Man Beeman. Why?
Because all his stories have rain in them, like 90%. Then
Yeah,
again, he
I
lives in
point-
England.
Yeah.
I
So,
pointed it out to him one day.
You
I'm
know-
like, why do all your stories have rain in them?
Some of my stories do too. It's just nice and relaxing to listen to them. Sometimes I put a fire in the background. Sometimes I'll put, whatever soothes me. Screams. Fire, rain. Just stuff that speaks to my soul.
is it time for my question? Sure, Jellybean. Do it.
Yeah. Hit us.
And apparently Ray was about to write that, literally. And Rodney have someone else
Jelly-
call 911. They can't. They're gonna know where the hell you're talking about. Sorry, I had to read that.
So, Jellybean's question. If you were in a room alone and you knew there was nobody else in your house and you heard something fart, how would you react?
You heard something fart.
Yep. If you knew you were home alone, fart.
Right, I'm home alone.
How would
and
you
this
react?
and this sound is in the room with me or across the house. I mean, what I need specifics.
It's in the room with you, like beside you.
Like a ghost.
Yeah, like a ghost.
Just a phantom fart.
And a fart. Yeah.
Pretty much a phantom fart.
What would I do?
What would
Yep,
you do?
What would you do?
Oh. This is such a funny question. I don't get a lot of fart questions in my day-to-day life. Well, put some real deep thought into this because, fans.
And it's in your ear, apparently, says
Because,
Ray.
the listeners need to know these hard-hitting questions that only
Yes.
I can answer.
Only you can
How
answer these
exactly?
questions.
How would you deal with a
Only
phantom
you can put out a forest fire.
fart? Yeah, only you can fan a fart.
Oh,
I would
basically-
probably just leave the room and do a few Hail Marys, a couple of the cross things, and board that room up for a while.
Well, she says
both
basically
wondered-
you're home alone. You heard a fart. Would you laugh or be scared? That's the
I would
question.
probably laugh and look around for the source, and then assume that I was not going to get an answer. Yeah, I would be more likely to laugh than get scared and leave the room. This is my house.
The
Screw
power
this
of grace compels you. The power of grace compels you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably going to stand my ground and pinch my nose and look around. For answers.
Well, I mean, it's a ghost fart. Would it smell?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
you
good-
have any
Would it
experience
smell like
with that?
sulfur?
I don't have any experience, but I
It
assume
seems
it would. I assume that it either smell like sulfur or you would get like just this awful aroma of dead body in your face.
Yeah. Well, food for thought, man. Food for thought.
Right? You don't know what's gonna happen, but you gotta do. You pretend like, that never happened. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna die here tonight.
That was a great question.
The Nevermore. Have you ever woken yourself up with a fart? No, but I have done it with the snore. Many times. I am my mother's daughter, after all. Oh, I don't know how many times my mom was lying, like, watching TV, and she's, like, snoring, and then all of a sudden, like, what? And it's just like, you just woke yourself up with your own snore.
That's funny.
I've done it a couple times, too.
The ones
I
that
don't-
I hate are when you're just about to sleep, and for some reason your body will just jerk, and you fucking
Yep.
wake up with a start. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, you felt like you were falling, and you're just like, ah! Oh, god damn it, now my adrenaline's rushing. God.
Yeah, like you stepped off a curb and didn't see it, or missed a step. It's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was just about to fall asleep, body. It was because your heart rate apparently went down before your mind fully went to sleep, is apparently the reason.
That's a good enough excuse to me as any.
Yeah.
Right.
How does the brain work? I don't
Why does the brain work?
know. Magic.
It's magic.
Do you believe in magic? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Stop singing songs.
In a young girl's heart. Sorry. Has Big Daddy Stone woken himself up with a Big Daddy tone?
With a Big Daddy tone? No, I don't think I have.
Is that
What is a
42
Big
I
Daddy
hear?
tone?
Yes, Dark Horse, it's me. We do not have... Mia has no voice, and Filia is stuck in the storm. That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah, pretty much. Mia decided it'd be a good idea to gargle glass, and now she has no voice.
Poor thing.
I would feel bad about making fun of Mia, but now but she's known me for years, so she's come to expect it.
Yeah, and plus she just hit you. She will drive to
I'm okay
you,
with that.
hit you, because she's closer than the rest of us are.
Listen,
I'm still
don't
in
threaten
the
me with a
40
good time, all right?
I'm still within the 40 states. Remember that.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
No, you
Just say
wouldn't.
what
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Uh-oh.
How do you know what I like?
Don't keep pushing her. She doesn't have much voice. Let her be.
Wow.
I would, but that's no fun. I lost my questions, so I must go back to you. To Discord.
Well, I was
to the
going
group
to
chat.
ask,
Reopen them.
is there any big projects that you're working on that you're excited about that you would like to talk about?
Yes.
Did you want to elaborate?
And that's all he can say.
I'm more of a yes or no guy, per se. I have a project that I've been working on for a little while, which is the Monkey's Paw.
Ooh.
So
Oh, Paul, you're a monkey.
to do that with not a very quotable quote.
Not at all.
Working on that, and I've got some other the part that I'm working on. I've been working on, but I'm handing it out to some other narrators. It's going to be a big collab with the usual suspects that I roll with.
Oh, nice.
So, that'll be cool. I've got a few stories that I really want to do that are going to be longer, but I really don't have anything to report on them. The things, honestly, the Dark Somniums, it looks like he's going to get 500,000 subscribers either tonight or tomorrow.
Hell
Jeez.
yeah.
The video he's releasing, I'm going to be a part of it. So that's really kind of cool for me that they let me be in that or asked me to be in it.
That is awesome, dude.
So that gives me exposure. So I usually get a bump of people coming through and saying, "Hey, I heard you on Dark Somnium," and that's kind of cool. Same thing happens with them, go over on Romneck's channel. I do when I can. Or when they find a part, they say, "Hey, I need your voice for this." And most of my other exciting stuff, is just dressing up the channel. Like I'm going to be commissioning, probably within 60 days, I'll have new artwork and a new banner on my channel.
Nice.
I'm excited about because it'll be more personalized. Because I saw the picture I'm using now, I saw show up in an obscure thumbnail for like some mental health thing, and I was like, yeah, I got to get rid of that.
So, who'd you get the
Yeah, I
new
get
artwork?
Huh?
Who'd you get to do
No,
the artwork?
I'm still designing it. I've been designing it for
You're doing it yourself.
4 days now, and then I'm going to get an actual artist to take my concept drawings and make them into reality.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got a short list of 4 artists that I'm probably
Okay.
going to reach out to, and then I'll unveil it. And
I was
maybe-
gonna say if you didn't have anybody in mind, I would have recommended.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
He's a really good artist. He's done a lot of narrators' avatars.
He's not on the list, but I'll check him out. The 4 that I'm looking at, which the one I'm leaning toward, well, you'll see it when it comes out. It's going to be different. I'm
Looking forward to
probably going to do something that's kind of a takeoff on me instead of a creature that I pick or create. And it's not going to be really anime-ish either. So you'll see when it comes out. I think.
Nice. The my avatar, if you look at it, it's actually a picture of. Like I sent Man a picture of myself, and told him what I wanted, and that's what he came up with, and I thought it looked really awesome.
It's pretty cool, man. I like it.
There's an updated version that Mia doesn't. I haven't sent to Mia, but I actually gave it. I asked Man to give him 2 different colored eyes because in real life I have heterochromia, so I have 2 different colored eyes.
Yeah. Well, if you go to my community page, you'll kind of. Did you say heterochromia? Oh yeah. I think did Ron do a story on that? I think she did. What colors are we looking at? Brown and green.
I have like a brown and it's like a grayish green color.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
According to I was looking into it, and apparently I have only 5% of the population have heterochromia, and the variant that I have, only 1% of the population has it.
Oh wow, that's pretty rare.
Yeah. Which means, and I have rare eyes, rare blood, and rare fingerprints. So if I ever broke the law and committed a crime, I can't leave any evidence behind, or I'm screwed.
He souped.
Oh, that's funny.
So, I actually did have a question out of the list that I was kind of interested in asking you. Is there any type of horror that affects you in like a personal way that either makes you feel like upset or like actually scares you?
Hmm. I think at one time, when I was younger, probably I would have answered it very differently. Because now my answer is kind of I don't think so. Um, I guess the closest it would be it's definitely not slasher. It would be more psychological, maybe dealing with the demonic or the spiritual. Um, but I was raised in an extremely conservative Christian household, and so that
Yeah.
lends itself a lot of times to superstition, even though that's the last thing that they want to think, but it kind of does. So, um, yeah, I kind of had a little bit of superstitious and a little bit of scared of the dark, and when you believe in demons and things like that, I think it plants that spiritual kind of spooky in you a little deeper than like a slasher film that comes off as not as realistic. So,
Like, how
I
does he
think
always catch up to you? Always.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's
He's
so big.
walking.
He's
He's
big, he's fat, he's carrying a chainsaw. You can outrun him. Nope.
apparently not. How? How? He is walking. I am running that way, and yet he is somehow in front of me. How is this possible?
I will tell you, the one that I struggled with the most, the very first horror movie that I ever saw, was by accident. It was at 10 o'clock at night in my oldest brother's basement, who's older by almost like 30 years. I saw Night of the Living Dead,
Wow.
the original black and white. And this is in like 1981, too. And I was too young to be watching that. Man, I struggled with zombies for a while after that. I really creeped me out.
So yours was that. Mine was actually Resident Evil 2 did that to me. The show,
wow.
the game,
Movie.
no, the game. Yeah, I played it as about 8 years old, 8 or 10, and it scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, it can make a real imprint on you. It definitely influences what your buttons are. They get pushed to make you scared.
Yes.
What you're
I know. For me, one of the ones that got me pretty good was Children of the Corn, because I watched that when I was really young, and I live by a bunch of cornfields.
Yeah.
Just a couple. 1,000.
By a couple, she means I'm literally surrounded by them.
There is no escape for you. They are coming for you. And if they don't, the cult of the corn are, aka Stormy and Seraphine.
Right.
We have corn-related stuff in the horror community that is weird.
Yep. There's a corn cult, and they will come for you.
Yes. 1 ear of corn at a time, I guess? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to make this sound more scary.
They will come for you, and they will either join them, or you will have to join the cucumber gang.
You have choices. Only choices are corn or cucumber.
Right.
And I have carrot.
Nope. Corn or cucumber. Join the cucumber. It's a sexual cult.
Oh God. Welcome to the weirdness. Population, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the Weirdo Club. Population us.
Population narrators.
There is no escape. So if you were thinking that you could escape, you were wrong.
It's too late. You're here forever. My grandfather was a detective. Impossible case.
That was a cool story.
That's what Dexter was saying. I was asking.
Now that I think of it, when you asked me which videos, excuse me, I'll take a sip here. Wet my whistle.
Gotta take a sippy sip.
Yeah,
I'm going for
a little sippy sip, a little bit turkey. My biggest bumps have come from a couple of videos that I had on Ronnie and Romnex's channel. The one that really gave me the biggest bump was that who's bringing that up? The Impossible Cases story. Who asked?
Dexter.
That was Dexter.
Yeah, my grandfather was a detective. Kept me up. Anyway, it's a long story, and it's really cool. And it's basically Romnex interviewing me as her grandfather, and I'm a dying detective that had all these unusual, unexplainable, impossible cases happen. And there's a little thread that kind of goes through them that ties them all together, sort of, kind of. But um, that one gave me the biggest bump, and actually, that one she said that it's over 100,000 views now, and that's her biggest story, which made me really proud that she asked me to be a part of that. Or
That's
her most viewed story.
amazing. That's amazing. That's great. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
and that was probably my favorite story to do, and I did it less than 2 months in on my own channel with no experience hardly. I just kind of settled into the character and just did it, and she did that magical sound design that she does, and it was nice. I love collaborating with her. It's just fun. She's a great to work with. I love it.
Yeah, I actually I've done quite a few collabs with people, and it's one of my favorite things to do is collab with people and see how I read something to how they read something, and it's just I find that it helps bring extra life because you're not trying to put on a voice because someone did the voice for you.
Exactly.
It helps so much. I have one called "I Was Never Allowed Into the Basement," and I finally found out why is the name of the series, and it's become this huge collab where I have a bunch of other narrators in it, and I love seeing how they bring these other characters to life. Part 7, I'm almost done. I just have the last part to do.
Yeah. Well, the thing that forced me to try to be on my P's and Q's too is that, when I step into a collab, I mean, I'm usually the least over person in the collab. I'm the little guy. I'm in there with Romnex and Dark Somnium and Spirit Voices, and these are all people who are just outside of the skill they've achieved in doing what they do over the years. I mean, they're just talented and they're good at what they do. So it's a little bit intimidating, but it pushed me a little bit. I think it's good to try to work with people that are better than you are sometimes. Whether you say it or not, it's good to try to work with people that are better than you and to play to them and play off of them. It really does help you to grow.
I wouldn't say always better either, just different and see things differently is just as good. So you can find what skill sets they like, what they enjoy doing, and go, okay, well, that's how they do it, is there any way for me to incorporate in that mine, or is that not something for me? So. And
part of it's easy for me too, because the circle that I'm in, I mean, these are people that have become my friends and I talk to, and, I kind of get a feel, I have a feel, I know who they are. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to play off of them than someone that I've never really met or is basically a total stranger.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have that blessed position. I mean, I kind of fell into it with,
You were kind of bullied into it.
Yeah, but look who was doing the bullying, I mean.
Yeah, I know.
If it was somebody that's never done it before that said, you should start a YouTube channel, I was like, you shut the fuck up. But, I didn't. It was just easy to listen to them because I knew I'd have a support system there if I needed it. And plus, once I started listening to Ronnie's narrations, I kind of binge listened to every single thing that he did from the beginning, just because I enjoyed the sound design of it because of my background in doing sound design in a different time. And it was a different kind of sound design. I used to make commercials, so it was a lot different and it didn't have the depth to it,
No, and yeah, there's a difference to. Well, I mean, I've listened to some stuff where they did the sound design, and it felt like I was listening to an old radio story. They had all the sound in there properly. They had all the voice actors. I'm talking about this is a huge. They have multiple voice actors working for them. And it just really made me feel like I had gone back in time when those were big and they were huge before TV became a thing. And it was really cool to hear all that. And it's just but I have to be in the right mood for that and not trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that.
I don't know how many times I've been listening to something and I'm like half asleep and then there's a scream. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, that was the wrong person to be listening to. Okay.
Okay. Are there questions in the Discord? We've been told.
The last one was Dexter that I saw. Oh, sweet. And why is Ronnie back off?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Most of my absolute totally favorite stories have been on other people's channels that I've done, so it's kind of odd. I enjoyed doing what was his name? Lovell on Beneath the Riptide. Was that the name of it? I think Dexter would know better than me. He's got a better memory for that thing. But I saw Beneath the Riptide. It was
Yeah. Heard that.
And
Yeah,
of
that
course, all
sounds
my
familiar.
collaborations, all of the collaborations I've done on other people's channels, I have a playlist on my channel that you can click on.
I remember the first time I heard you was actually when Filia mentioned you.
Filia, yeah.
Yeah. That was,
I
the first time
collaborated.
that you were brought to my attention.
Yeah, I asked her to be in a story with me, and she really did a great job. And then she ended up killing me in the end. It was
you both did a great job. I remember the story. It was very good.
And she was happy about it. There was a giggle and everything. So yeah, it was kind of cool. Again, another story that I really liked, but I was shooting above my skill level at the time, and it just didn't sound as good as it could have. It wasn't as smooth. It was a little bit more choppy than I would like to have had. I'd like to have that one back and another month of making some stories before I tackled that one. But still, a really cool little story, and I'm glad I got to work with Philly on that one.
I was gonna say, like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Like, hindsight, like, you don't realize where you're missing your skill set until you get a better skill set. I used to think I was doing such a great job when I first started, and now that I listen back and I realize, oh, that wasn't good. Oh, that wasn't very good. And just...
Yeah.
But you only know what you're missing when you see where you've gotten. So, I mean, it was a good thing you did it then, and then, you know, you can always learn and go, this is what I took from it. I don't like this. This is what I did like about it. So...
Well, most of the things that I do, I assume that I could always have done better, especially with this, because... Again, you know, the people I've been listening to are really good, and at least in my mind, and it made it a little bit weird to start when I knew I was going to be rough around the edges and just not having the sound that they did, but I jumped into it anyway. But every story I do, I just look at as more practice to get better. I never think, oh my God, I knocked that out of the park. Not with anything I did. The ones I seem to enjoy doing more, though, are always on other people's channels, and they always seem to do well. So, and it translates into growth for my channel, which isn't the most important thing. I honestly just really enjoy sinking my teeth into certain roles, and playing certain characters just speak to me a little bit more. And some of them are bad guys, and some of them are good guys, but. You know, all in all, I love making narrations. I'll probably continue to do it for a long time.
There's a role in and it's one of the stories that I wrote that I have reprised multiple times, and it's because I'm way too good at doing this role. And 42 will know which one it is. It's there's this boss in a story called Sticks and Stones. And I'm just way too good at being an asshole, apparently. So people have asked me multiple times to reprise that role.
It's almost as if it's natural. Weird.
Oh, you're right. Almost as if it's natural.
I know, right?
15-minute warning, and Dexter would like to know about the Dust Bowl and that collab.
Dust Bowl. Oh, that was sad. Yeah, that one pulled on the heartstrings. Yeah, so every once in a while, in my long 15-month narration career, every once in a while, you come upon a story that touches you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of them. That story kind of got to me. I mean, all of us have suffered loss of some sort, and myself as well. And sometimes in the creepypasta community, I will stumble across a story, or I'll do one that kind of, you got to tap into something a little bit in an emotional side that to get what you need, and it almost becomes like it's almost like you got to Daniel Day-Lewis the hell out of that thing, you know. So you tap into that spot inside of you and do what do they call it? The character acting, or they what's the method acting?
Method acting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
and
actually do
that's
recommend
one of
with voice acting to actually fully let yourself feel the emotions you should
know.
be. To let them.
And that's one of the ones that I did that with. That was that honestly was a difficult one to do, but once it was done, it was supremely satisfying. It was really, really fulfilling, even though it was super sad. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I think Mia was saying
It was a
the
little
last.
draining to do that one though.
Oh yeah, no. When they actually find one that actually gets those heartstrings, when you're dying, you're just like, I need to go in the corner for a little bit. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well, you know, your character slowly loses everything, and then their own life, and it's like, you know,
Yeah.
It's just can drain all. It can cut at you a little bit. It's weird. It's weird. I would have never thought that before. But if you give yourself to it, and you really go into the part and don't have any hangups about it, and you just do it as if you're trying to legitimately give yourself to it, it's kind of a cool thing, even though it's only for like a few hundred people. Why can't that be just as cool and as artistic and as authentic as possible? I think it's a really cool thing to do.
I haven't run across one of those stories yet, but then again, there's not a lot of things that pull on my heartstrings anymore.
You're dead inside?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Dead inside's good. A good way. And there's a story that I've been wanting to read. It's called A Few Short Days. It's by As the Raven Dreams. And he's like, it's a really sad story. And I'm like, oh, so I got to pretend like I have a heart, huh? Oh, this is going to be hard.
Well, pretty early on, I did a story called 10 Days, and it's a short story. And again, another one where the sound could have been so much better. And I used Dark Somnium's music, I believe, on some of that. I used his in a lot of my stuff. But it was about a guy that's his last 10 days on Earth. He has cancer and he's dying. And I didn't put a warning on it. And so people, you know, kind of like, oh, that kind of hit me. And, you know, as a matter of practice, I don't put up warnings. I've learned to write them in the description pretty prominently and first. If it's going to be something that deals with like suicide or something that just, I don't know, there's a few in my videos, but I'm a little more, in the comments at least, I'll come out and just tell people, look, this might hit you. This might touch you kind of weird. This isn't your typical, you know, scary story. It might be a little creepy. Yeah. I try to give a heads up a little bit, even though it's part of the community and part of me.
Yeah.
You know, if they're in this community, they can, you know, but I'm trying to be a little better about the, hey, heads up. This is going to be.
Well, my biggest one is whenever there's talk about suicide, I always put a warning, because sometimes you're just not even in the right mind space to even hear it in any way. So I'm always like, if there's talks of suicide, I always put that warning up, just because
I
you
threw
just
Spirit Voices off of a bridge a few stories ago, and I didn't. That came out weird.
Don't look into it.
Yeah. Hey, don't you worry about it.
Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
She's swimming with the fishes now.
Who's asking? That's right. Nobody's asking.
You're a wise guy.
The fishes now.
But you know, I didn't put a warning on that because it was well, if you ever listen to The Bridge, you'll see, but it's only like a 4-minute story. That's another thing. Any advice anybody's asking from me, don't do 4-minute stories. I've done a few 3 and 4 minute stories just because I liked them. And they're brutal. Just do 8, 10, 15, 20.
Actually do short stories like that, but I put them in a compilation together.
Yeah, and see, I've actually had 2 compilations now that I do. I'm not a compilation guy, but I did a compilation with, I've done 2 compilations in the past 2 or 3 months, I think, that turned out pretty well. But I had Dexter on my channel, with Romnex and a couple, and then
nice.
Dark Somnium was in there as well. I got to kill him, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like killing and getting killed. It's two of my favorite things.
One thing Dexter said: method acting, much more legit and highly recommended over meth acting. I agree.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You hear me scratching my beard in the microphone really hard.
I think Mia was saying that The Last Sunset really got her for one of the stories. And that was by Raven, As the Raven Dreams. He wrote The Last Sunset. It's actually a really good one.
Yeah, it's a good story.
One that got me that I read actually was the one Ray Beeman gave me. I actually cried at the end of that because that's the one where I had Seraphine be my dad who died, and then I killed PA as my brother.
Wow. You're a killer too. I like it.
Apparently. Well, I didn't kill the dad. The dad died of cancer. That's not my fault. And then I kind of sort of accidentally killed PA. I mean, it was dark. I didn't know it was him. It just happened. And then I plunged the knife in 3 more times when I saw it was him. It was just a thing.
Right. Accidents are going to happen. Misunderstandings, things like that.
Exactly.
That so gets you back.
Take care, Jellybean. Have a good night.
Jelly, good to meet you.
Jellybean, I don't know if anybody told you, but Jellybean is actually Ray Beeman's wife.
Oh, okay.
We're a community. We're all very tight knit.
I know.
To a certain extent.
I need to come out of my little tight circle once in a while. There you go, Ray. There's one for you.
I'm trying to remember the name of the story that Vidith 22 did. But it was a sad story because it was all about this guy who I think it was called like 10 steps or 12 steps. It was all about AA, and this guy was he was in there and he was talking about like this one secret that he could never disclose to anyone. And the secret was that he had ran over a kid, but he was talking to this this new person to AA, and the whole time this guy was like being like almost stalkerish, like he was just like being way too friendly, showing up at the guy's house. Right. And at the end of the story, he realized that he was like, he finally tells this guy like his big secret, and the guy was the father of the kid that this dude ran over but he was sober when he did it, but it was like he was having the shakes. And I think he was sober, he might have been drunk. But the guy had killed himself already, so it was the ghost. The dad was a ghost. And like the whole story, at the end of the story, whenever everything came apart, you realize just, it was like just emotional driven, and it tugged on your fucking heartstrings.
But he felt nothing because he's dead inside. Sorry.
That one even got me a little.
I have known PA for over a year now, and dude, it's almost like I've known him for years. I make fun of him. It's called
12 Steps. It's a very good story. Anybody who hasn't seen it should check it out.
I will. I'll put that on my list.
Vidith 22 is one of the most talented narrators I've ever listened to.
Yeah, he's very good. I've listened to some of his stories, and I heard his interview when he was on your channel here. He was very good.
He's also a really good friend of mine. I enjoy talking to him a lot.
Cool.
He needs to be on my channel again. I like working with Vidith. Me and his voices meld together really well for some weird ass reason. Actually, I might listen to 12 Steps again. I might put that on my watch list for later.
Yeah.
And adding that to my watch list, and adding that one. Yeah, and I love how we got the name, which was, it sounded cool. I love when people are like, how'd you get that name? I thought of it and it sounded cool, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name came about, I was mowing. Good name. And then PA Nightmares popped in, and Daddy, I don't know if I ever told you, but my name, like the PA in my name actually stands for the state that I live in.
I've assumed that. Yeah.
So that, but if you listen to my intro, so say I'm your personal assistant, so I have a double entendre in there because I like clever wordplay. But
Of course.
then I came up with the intro as well as the name while I was mowing my yard, and I was just like, that's it. That's what we're rolling with.
And 3 years later, he finally made a video.
Oh, that's funny.
Actually, that was about a year later. I came up with all that one about a year, like a year before I started narrating.
I was just making a bad joke that took you
Oh, I
forever
know.
to start narrating.
Yeah,
Just like to make fun of you.
Some awful person named 242 bullied me.
Yeah, I don't have a clue who that is.
Yeah.
I am not 242. No, sometimes it takes bullying someone or telling someone to do it, especially when they're
Just
bigger
remember
and have lots of subscribers.
Just remember, it's not bullying. It's called tough love.
Not bullying. It's just pushing them in the right direction.
I don't wanna. You do wanna. I don't wanna. I do. You do wanna. I don't wanna. You do wanna. Fine, I'll do it.
So, was there any last minute? Because we're at 5 minutes morning now. So, is there anything left questions that you specifically want to ask PA? Pushing.
R242.
Hmm?
I said R242. You just said me. You're here
Yeah.
too.
I know,
Yeah,
but
I got it rolled out too, so this timing works out well.
well, I just it's more your show. I don't do. My shows aren't interviews anymore. They're just chatting with people. Mine's just conversations.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to ask us, or anything you want to say to the people watching, or any last minute comments? You there, bro?
No.
Thanks, Dad,
Yeah,
too.
man. I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Drifted over for a second, doing something else. No, I'm happy you had me on. It was cool to get to know you guys. I appreciate it. It's nice.
Yeah, it was
for
fun,
you,
man.
You know, I see your collective drawing in an audience, and you know, you're helping to be to bring a lot of different voices in from the community and to promote their channels, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, so the show originally started as like me interviewing authors, because I honestly feel like in the horror community the authors do not get enough love.
Right.
So I like to interview more authors than anything, but I was just like, you know what? I want to interview everyone. So I just randomly ask people.
And a lot of the narrators are also writers themselves too, which is actually really cool.
Oh yeah, that seems to be more and more common now.
Well, and you know what? It makes sense. You probably narrate stories because you enjoy stories, and if you enjoy stories, you probably want to write them too, right? So
Exactly.
Anymore for me, writing stories is like pulling teeth, but only at the beginning. I'll just I don't want to write. I don't like. I'll start writing, and I'm like, and then I'll get into the story, and I can't stop writing.
And I'm sorry that I don't have a voice and didn't get to have fun with you guys.
Oh, you're good, Mia. It sucks, but
okay, Mia, just get better.
But real quick, I will just do the abridged version of the commercial. Nevermore Collective is a channel for people like us who have content that we want to do, but it's not exactly fitting for our channels. If you guys have anything you want to do that's not exactly fits the theme of your channel, contact me, 42, Mia, Filia, Raven, just pretty much anyone you see that does a show in here, and we can get you squared away. Also, it doesn't have to be a live stream. It can be a one-off video or a video series where we can just upload the video to the channel. So if you guys have any questions, just contact one of us.
And also, that's the abridged version. Also, make sure that you check out our guest, Big Daddy Stone's YouTube channel and Twitter. Link is in the description and also in the live chat.
Yes, check him out if you haven't already. I'm just assuming all of you have.
Most likely. But just doing the other part, and I almost said show notes.
And the words of Shia LaBeouf, just do it!
Oh God.
And Shia LaBeouf.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. I love that song. I love the fact that he stands up in the end and is just clapping.
Right.
It's just clapping. It's just like, that means he was okay with it.
Since you're here, 42, do you want to come up with a tagline that you so elegantly created?
Accidentally. Okay. No, I can't remember it.
It's once you join the collective, you can leave nevermore.